Run, run, run from humans. They're trying to stab you. They're trying to murder you, to call you bacon and burn you in a frying pan. Hello, students. Welcome to class. My name is Miss KADIE. I'm that vegan teacher here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do know me, you know that I am proud of you if you are on the vegan journey. So tell me how it's going. Write in the comments below. What stage are you at? Have you finally realized, oh boy, I better stop eating dairy? Or have you already cut out all the meat? How about the eggs? Did you cut those out? How's it going? If you make a mistake, if something happens and you slip up, it doesn't mean you stop completely. It means you keep going anyway. Good. All right, so today we're going to look at a quick presentation by this group called Animal Rebellions. I've written their name here. You guys can go ahead and write that too. And I love it when you guys take pictures of your scorecards and you send them to me on Instagram. That's really fun. All right, so we're going to be looking at this and we're going to be hearing about, apparently it's about plant-based universities. So let's see what they're saying. Plant-based. Okay, I'm going to stop right away and give them a check mark because I already like what I'm seeing here. All right, what have we got? Plant-based. The presentation is, what, you get a check mark just for showing up in class because I'm just so happy that you're here trying. And what do we have on the sign here? Plant-based universities, plant-based KCL, and the climate crisis. Okay, so these guys care about the climate as well. Good job. Check mark for that. And well, let's just see what they're up to.
So what the Plant-Based Universities campaign is, it's a movement by students all over the UK demanding that their university transition to a plant-based catering system by the start of the 2023-2024 academic.
Okay, so by 2023, 2024, they want all the catering systems there that deliver food to the universities to be vegan. That's amazing. Absolutely. All hospitals, all schools, even the jails, everything should be vegan. Why would we want to pay for murder if we don't have to? So good job. Check mark to you guys.
Year. We're doing this because the worst effects of climate breakdown are already being experienced across the globe, and industries like meat, fishing and dairy are undeniably a part of that. University.
Okay, so he's talking about the meat industry, the dairy industry. Good job. Check marks to that. I like the sign that she's making there. Do you guys see that?
The campaign is, it's a movement by students all over the UK demanding that their university transition to a plant-based catering system by the start of the 2023-2024 academic year. We're doing this because...
Okay, so she's got a sign there that she's making. And I see how I always wondered how they write on these pieces of material and get it so perfect. So I guess they cut out the letters first, then go over it with a pencil and then paint it later. All right, check mark for that. Thanks for showing us. Now, if I want to make a big sign, I just paint usually on my shirts just directly. Sometimes I make mistakes, so that's not a bad idea, actually, to sort of make your own little letter stencils. Good to know.
The worst effects of climate breakdown are already being experienced across the globe, and industries like meat, fishing and dairy are undeniably a part of that. Universities are centres of knowledge, they're hubs. They're where we have so many studies about the climate crisis, so many studies about the impacts of meat, fishing and dairy on the climate crisis. Universities are places where change happens, so we want this change to happen in universities.
I want to see what's on the sign here. Students, please fight the fees. Okay, they're talking about in general how students have stood up against the universities when they've done things that they haven't agreed with. And these are social justice matters. So I guess the visuals that we're seeing now is to inspire us to relate to those and to continue that same pattern forward.
Universities as well.
The reason this campaign started is because we as students are well aware of the detrimental effects of animal agriculture and how universities are continuing to be complicit to this disastrous industry.
Okay, good job. So you're aware of what goes on and you are aware of that your university is doing something that you're not in agreement with, and you are gathering together as a group to combat this and to try to make some changes. So excellent. Really happy to see that.
For me, seeing so much information being published about the harmful effects of animal agriculture on the climate, it persuaded me to take my own steps to limit my...
Okay, there's the painting on the sign there that we were looking at before. So this guy is talking about the environment and he cares about the environment, which I'm going to give a check mark to. But remember, veganism is really about the animals. Of course, the environment and animals are very tightly related to one another. If the animals don't have a nice climate to live in, if they don't have a clean planet, they can't survive. So the two do go hand in hand.
own impact on the planet. And most of this information is being published by the UK universities, so they have a responsibility to act on that.
Okay, yes, good job, check mark. He's calling them out and saying that since the universities themselves are giving the facts that veganism is the best diet for a planet, is the best way for everyone to go, then why is it that the universities are serving dead animals in there? And other things like the animal secretions, so much violence, so many different products that are not in line with their own moral philosophy. So the university students start saying, hey, excuse me, how about we line these things up so that we are actually doing what we say people need to do?
Students can get involved by simply starting the campaign in their university, and the way students can
Okay, so another thing she's doing, I like that check mark. She's saying that students can get involved, and she's offering a way too. She's saying, look, it's not just us here. This is in Britain. You guys can do that in Canada. You can also get a campaign going if you live in the United States and you're going to university. You can gather a group of different environmentalists and say, hey, let's try to get something going here, some sort of a rules change so that the only foods that come into this university from the catering service are vegan. So that's excellent.
do that is by following our Instagram at plant-based unis.
Oh, let's look at that. So she wants us to follow her Instagram. So look at the address there, plant-based unis. That's short for universities. So that's the Instagram, plant-based unis. Okay, let's memorize that. Good job for giving us a link. So if we want to follow through, we can look there.
And then directing themselves to the bio of our Instagram, where you will find an interest form. As long as you fill that interest form, someone from the Plant-Based Universities team will reach out to you and will help you start the campaign at your university.
Excellent. Good. Okay, sign up or join. Very good. Very cool. Let's see what's written down here, guys, and see what they're saying. Universities are hallowed institutes of higher... I'm going to try and make this bigger for you guys. See, does it get bigger? Oh, there we go. Universities are hallowed institutes of higher education and progressive thinking, are failing students by ignoring scientific consensus on the impact of animal agriculture on the environment. In just under 4 months, students across the UK in over 20 universities have come together to hold their universities accountable to their responsibility to safeguard the future of their students by demanding a transition to a just and sustainable 100% plant-based catering system by 2023 academic year. So right now, at the time that this video is posted, it is February and it's 2022. So they're not asking for this September because they're being strategic and not trying to push it too fast, because they know that it takes a bit of time to do these things, to have votes, discussions, to educate people. So they're being realistic and saying by the next year. So that's good, but they're getting the ball rolling now so that it can happen. Currently, universities act to legitimize the industries of animal agriculture and fishing, and this needs to change. Hear from some of our campaign runners on the importance of plant-based universities, campaign, and find out how you too can get involved and convince your university to adopt a fully plant-based menu. And for those of you who are still in high school, why not do the same thing? Think about it. You can go to your teachers, the environment committee, the principal, and any other school board officials and say, hey, you know what? This is our future. Why are we serving dead bodies in here when we know it is bad for the environment? And we know how much it hurts the animals. So within each school system, if everyone, whatever school you're in right now, if you're a student watching, you can make a difference. It starts by just educating yourself, getting some materials, and going and expressing to the leaders, whoever they may be in power, and say, hey, this is something we need to work towards. By the way, if any of you are interested in knowing more about the group called Animal Rebellion, you can find them here on YouTube under the same name. They have a video here called 2021, What Did We Achieve? And they talk about all of the different accomplishments that they were able to activate in the last year. Here you can see them putting up a structure. Actually, I'll just let you listen to a little bit of what they're saying.
The destruction to our planet, to people and to animals, and not acting on that is just at this stage completely irresponsible. And being able to have impact on an organization like McDonald's and targeting their supply chain was just kind of felt like we couldn't, not do it.
So they built this big structure and they stopped the supply chain, stopped the products from getting to McDonald's in order to raise awareness. This is called social disruption, and you can take part in them. Civil disobedience, if it's something that interests you. It is always nonviolent, and it is always to try to get the attention of the media for what's going on, to point out to McDonald's that they are extremely detrimental to the environment and, of course, to what happens to the animals. And here you can see that they also went later on. Let's see if I can show you. It'll probably come up where they are talking about going into McDonald's and doing a sit-in there. A big mixed sit-in, called it.
Near the beginning of the rebellion. So we planned to target McDonald's, and we initially met in a park nearby. And immediately the police were on us, just sitting in a park. 4 or 5 police vans showed up, which kind of gives an idea of how over the top the police response is to what is essentially peaceful, non-violent protests. They left us in the park. We obviously weren't doing anything wrong, and then we dispersed in small groups to the McDonald's in Leicester Square. So we entered in small groups, and within about 20 minutes, the McDonald's was full of peaceful protesters concerned about animal agriculture and the climate crisis. Once all the protesters were inside, we announced our presence and generally just intended to have a good time. There was a heavy police presence at the door and inside, but if you went to the front door and to the windows of the McDonald's, it was kind of mad to see we had a significant amount of support for what we were doing, raising awareness the animal agriculture crisis and its contribution to the climate emergency, and obviously McDonald's, who are complicit in factory farming and all of these crimes against the environment and people and animals. But on the inside, it changed quite quick. And at this point, the business McDonald's had closed the doors voluntarily themselves to trap us inside, and we weren't allowed to leave. And I think that was scary for a lot of people. The police response was completely over the top, especially when some of these people were asking to leave. And that's when the police started arresting people en masse, and I think they arrested 38 people in total. Once they closed the doors and came around and started arresting people without warning, I think it kind of strengthened my resolve that something needs to be done, and that I need to be part of that action. And I think a lot of people felt the same way. Rather than deterring us, it's kind of encouraged us.
Wow, that's amazing. So the police ended up locking them inside the McDonald's and arresting a bunch of people, even though they were just doing a peaceful protest. So anyway, I support this group, at least what I've seen so far. I don't see any violence. I see that they are really trying hard to raise awareness about the environment and the animals. So Animal Rebellion today, I'm giving you an A+ on this assignment. Thank you for everything that you're doing for the animals. I encourage you guys to go and sign up for this channel and go and follow the links to try to get your universities to have vegan-only options as well. Thank you very much to Animal Rebellion for the wonderful work that you are doing, and I look forward to following you more in the future. For the rest of you, there will be videos coming up on screen. Please go ahead and click on them if you're curious. Follow That Vegan Teacher's site. There are videos about the environment, there are videos about animals, there are videos about food, there are videos about singing, singers, actors, everybody, politicians. There's over 1,000 something videos in the archives. Have a look around. See what kind of stuff that we are talking about here. We want to save the animals from hell. So please subscribe and press the notification bell. And I'll see you all in the next video. And give yourself a big giant hug if you are trying to be vegan. I know it's not so easy, but I'm so proud of you for trying, for looking at what's on your plate and making decisions every meal, every purchase, bit by bit. We'll get there. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Let's follow That Vegan Teacher on YouTube right now. Let's